What is up, YouTube? This is DeFGandolf coming to you with another World of Tanks video. Today I'm here in my M26 Pershing American Tier 8 medium tank. Now, I just recently got this tank, recently being probably 4 days ago, and I've really been enjoying it so far. You do have to use the 90mm gun from the T20, as is with most tanks when you move on to the next. And that was not a fun experience. The gun on the T20 is perfectly suited for Tier 7, but it is just not capable in Tier 8 with only 160mm of penetration. That's just not going to get the job done. Although in the replay I'm going to show you after this one, I am using that gun, and I'm playing it much more as a sniper. But in this replay, I am using the top gun on the Pershing. Thankfully, you do not have to get the turret or the treads in order to get the top gun on the Pershing. It is just a 90mm gun, but it is a far better gun with 180mm of penetration. So, first concern to the team here. That ELC AMX just spotted out both of our scouts and most likely me to the enemy team. In fact, almost guaranteed that he saw me. Now, that particular shot probably penetrated, but I do not know. It was aimed well enough, and it was fully aimed. So, that was kind of a luck shot, really. So, in this game I'm going to start off just kind of sitting right here behind the tree line, seeing if I can get any opportunistic shots over there on the road. That's one thing that I really do like to do in the Pershing, is just play a really more of a support role. This tank is very good at everything. I mean, it's a jack of all trades, master of none, and this is just the way I choose to play it, at least right now. I do not have the upgraded the upgraded turret, or the upgraded tracks, so I really don't want to be trying to use turret armor or any of that against Tier 8 vehicles. But as you can see, this is a very good matchmaking round. Highest tier in the match is Tier 8, so I am a top tier medium tank, and that is never a bad thing when you're playing in a medium tank. So, right now I see that we've got a lot of guys already up in the town while their guys are still arriving at the town, so that's looking pretty good. But the western flank over there is very, very worrisome. We have very few people over there, and the enemy team is pushing it very, very hard. But here I'm just taking opportunistic shots at this enemy Tiger 1, just squeezing some damage here and there. I do bounce one shot. I believe it was from that Tiger 2 as he was going across the road there. I was tunnel visioned in on the Tiger 1, so I did not see the Tiger 2 moving across the road. That really would have been a better shot opportunity than I had on the Tiger 1. Now I'm trying to reset for the shot. He's about to go into cover, so I fire a clutch. I do hit him, but it does not penetrate his turret. And on this map, this is just what I tend to like to do with my medium tanks, and even some tank destroyers. It's just kind of sit in this position right here, just because you can shoot into that little sliver of the heart of the town, and you can also hit enemies as they come across the road here. And it just gives you some very nice firing opportunities across the better part of the eastern flank here, especially over the open areas. Now, you can be on the opposite side of the road. You cannot shoot over the road that is located on the J line. You cannot shoot over that. That is a ridge there. So that is a very good way to hide your tank as you're approaching the town from the western side. I'm going to give a huge shout out to our AMX 12T driver. He just single-handedly killed a Jag Tiger 8.8cm, which is a very, very deadly Tier 8 German tank destroyer. So, big thanks to you, Mr. Sub... I'm not going to try to pronounce that. But, big shout out to you. And I do have to say thank you. You probably carried this team a little bit. So yeah. IS-6, I get nice side shots from the back. And that was a T-20 that I just killed. My younger brother, I guess you would say. It was a good tank. I enjoyed it. So, right now I'm just doing damage to this IS-6. He's tunnel visioned in. He's not doing anything to me. So, I'm just going to take him down, put him down to 7 health, and at this point, I'm just saying, okay, he's going to die. I'm not going to get that kill. So, let's turn around and let's move out. Now, that right there probably costed me a top gun. I'm going to end up with 5 kills this game, but at this point, I just saw, okay, my teammates are going to kill him. Let's go in and get a head start on the way back to the cap, because the enemy has pushed all the way through the western flank. All we have is a tank destroyer back at base, and he's about to die. So I need to get back here and control this cap as quickly as possible. But I gotta deal with my threats one at a time. There's an STA-1 here. Then AMX AC-48 pops up, French Tier 8. That is a very deadly tank as well. I do not know if that shot hit. I take a hit from the STA-1, but I wanted to see if I could get a shot off on that AC-48. I take a hit from the enemy AMX-12T that you'll see in a moment. But first I'm going to finish off the STA-1. Now I'm going to continue my push forward. At this point, I'm really hoping that their Tiger P and KV-1S aren't in crossfire positions, and that right there confirms that they are not. Take a clutch shot at the Tiger while moving, and then I see the 12T here, figure, let's get one more gun out of the fight. He misses his shot, but he does not have the luck of me missing. So now there's just 3 enemy tanks left. I'm on 4 kills. I'm feeling like I can get a top gun here. KV-1S over there playing very, very cautiously. I believe he has the 122mm derp gun, so I don't blame him for playing cautiously. I was going to follow the 12T there, but I decide, well, he's going to be making the Tiger P point his turret that direction, so why not go around the opposite side? KV-1S tries to peek here, and unfortunately I hit his gun mantle instead of his turret, so I do not penetrate him. Now all that's left is Tiger P. 1 shot in. Now I'm waiting for the KV-1S to deliver his shot because, I mean, I do want the top gun. I really do want it at this point. That would be my first in the Pershing here. And meanwhile, KV-1S pops back up, and I hear the Tiger P get hit again, so I want to finish him off. It does look like he's about to hit our KV-1S again, but I didn't give him the luxury. The KV-1S on the enemy team did hit me there, and that just confirmed to me that he's using the 122mm high explosive cannon. So at this point I'm not too scared to just all out rush him. I hit him, but friendly KV-1S takes the kill. So overall that was a really well played game by my team. They responded to the threat of the enemies. We had guys pulling back, myself included. Our 12T came back, our KV-1S came back, our Tiger 2 is on his way back, but that's not a highly mobile tank. So I mean, overall my team that game was fairly situationally aware. I do really like it when I get teams like that. As you can see, this was only a 41% chance to win. So, again, just don't trust XVM. It's okay to use as a reference or a baseline, but don't just trust your entire round on what XVM says. I did finish that game with 2.7 thousand damage, and that's a fairly large amount considering that the Pershing only has 1,350 hit points. It's nothing insane, but that is my first great game in the Pershing. So yeah, let's get into the other replay where I'm using the stock gun and sniping. Alright, I am back, and like I said, I am now using the 90mm gun M3 on the Pershing. This is the gun that you get to start off with, coming out of the T20. And this match is very strange. There's a single tier 10 on each team and 3 tier 9 tanks. And the rest of the teams are made up of tier 8s, and both teams have a single tier 7 scout tank. We have a 1375. They have a T71. And so, as far as that goes, we're fairly evenly matched. We do have a 57% chance to win, although, like I said a moment ago, XVM does not dictate the game. And being that there are tier 9s and 10s of this match, and also just the pure fact that I'm having to use this gun with only 160mm of penetration, I decided that I'm going to hang back and play a lot more of a supporting role in this game. And now again, I do not have the upgraded turret, and so my turret armor is not great. And yes, I am just randomly scrolling right here because it was getting later on in the night, and I was just trying to grind out this gun, and I was getting kind of bored. I think this was actually the last game I played that evening. But, anyway, so I decided I'm going to come up here, sit behind these trees, and see what kind of shots I can get over at the enemies on the ridge, and also anything that is lagging behind as it comes up to attack the eastern valley. First off, see this T-32? First shot sails high, bounces off his turret, because, like most American heavy tanks, once you get to tier 7 especially, it does have good turret armor. Second shot goes straight through his side. He gets hit again. My third shot collects the kill and 50 damage. This is a 90mm gun, so don't expect it to be doing insane amounts of damage. As you can see, that's about 2 in the 240 range there. I think 240 is this gun's average damage. So, it makes sense there. That blind shot I took at RHM did not hit. I looked after the game. I really thought it would hit, but apparently it didn't. Must have gone a little bit higher, a little bit right or something. But anyway, at this point I'm taking a look at the tactical situation on the map. We've got a fair number of guys over on the far left side, over in the west. We've got very good numbers over here in the Eastern Valley. The enemy only sent 2 heavy tanks straight up through, and we've just got massive numbers compared to them. I take a shot at the Pershing, but sadly, it does not hit. The accuracy of this gun isn't bad, but it's not great either. Second shot, however, does score a hit. I was trying to hit him through the engine deck, but sadly, I do not get a fire. So, I now know there's at least a Pershing and a T-34 American Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank over here. The T-34 does have a very, very good gun for Tier 8. So, I do not really feel like getting shot by it. It has 400 average damage, which for Tier 8 is very nice for a heavy tank. And again, I'm just playing kind of a supporting role, just sitting back, sniping the enemy tanks. Just grabbing some opportunistic damage wherever possible. About 3.5 minutes into the game, I have already done a little shy of 800 damage. That shot sails a bit high on the 416, sadly. And that's a weird, I don't know if it's a glitch or whatever, but sometimes your aiming reticle dot will be below your aiming triangle, and the bullet goes where your center of the screen aiming triangle is, and it doesn't go where the reticule is. I don't know what's up with that, but I don't know if it's a bug or a glitch or just whatever, but I've noticed that occasionally, and it kind of gets on my nerves. But anyway, I see the RHM again. Put another nice shot into him for 235 damage. He's now on very, very low HP. M26 Patton shows up. I don't really have a great shot on him. Looks like my replay is glitching a little bit here, and it wasn't showing his outline. Enemy T-34 over there, I thought he was about to push over the hill a little bit, at least enough where I get a shot, but it didn't. Someone just bounced off the top of my turret there. I have no clue who it was. Most likely, their Object 416, if I had to guess. Maybe he doesn't have the best gun or something. I really should have pinned it. He would have only had about 100 millimeters of armor to go through. So I don't know how it didn't pin. But hey, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But so yeah, I know they've got at least 3 enemy tanks over there on the ridge, including an ISU 152 and an RHM, both with very deadly guns. I get a hit on the T-34 right into the side of his tank, and I decide the T-34 is the easiest target for me to hit in between the Patton and him. I track the M26 Patton. Sadly, it misses his side and just hits his drive wheel. And at this point, I'm just kind of playing a very supportive role. We've lost a lot of guys over here on the east. It looks like we only have an M103 and a T-54 left. Now, granted, those are 2 very capable Tier 9 tanks, but the enemy does have numbers there. I really do not want to get spotted because, as I said a moment ago, the ISU 152 and the RHM both have very, very deadly guns. The ISU 152 has a BL-10 152mm gun with 750 average damage and decent penetration, albeit it does have a very, very bad DPM, but I don't feel like taking 750 damage from a single shot right now. So, I'm playing this very, very, very conservatively. I'm not going to leave this hill. You know, it's too risky for a Tier 8 tank that doesn't even have the top gun. The M46 Patton crests the ridge and gives me his side armor to shoot at, and I take advantage of that, put 1 hit into him. But he backs off, so I no longer have hits on him. So now we've got a T-34 M103 and an M46 Patton right there directly threatening our T-54 and our M103. They are not pushing. Our guys aren't pushing. And I don't think I would be pushing either if I was the M103 and the T-54. The enemy is getting a little more aggressive on that end now, because I think they finally realized that we don't have any more guys over here other than those 2 and myself. So they are getting a little more risky here and there. Our RHM still has not been respotted. I put another hit into the Patton, and I do light him on fire that time. So I end up doing 424 damage just purely from the fire that lights up. So that's a sizable amount to a very dangerous enemy tier 9 tank. T-34 shows back up, put another nice shot in him. But he backs down the hill, and if he was smart, he would try to find a hold down position. But at this point, he doesn't really need to. We are losing this game badly now. It's just me and an RHM left. And, I mean, there's really nothing I could do about this. I supported my team the best I could. I did a little over 2.5k damage. And with this gun, that's very surprising. This is probably the best game I had using this 90mm gun M3 from the T20. But I mean, obviously, if you know anything about World of Tanks, I mean, this is not looking very good for us right now. The RHM is a good tank, but he can't hold off an Object 416, an IS-3, whatever else may be over there. And I cannot hold off a T-34, M103, and an M26 Patton. Their Object 416 shows itself over there. I can't really help him. It couldn't really be helped. I managed to get one hit on him, so I mean, I guess that's something, but I mean, I couldn't save the RHM. I tried to take a blind shot, but you know, it just didn't work out there. I misjudged the speed of that Object 416, and at this point, I'm thinking, well, I mean, they're probably right here, and yeah, they are right at my doorstep. I try to put a shot into the lower plate of the M103, and he somehow bounced off my turret. I don't understand how, but you know, whatever. So yeah, it's not looking good at this point. There's nothing I can do with this gun really now without the M103 is rushing me. Strategic side shots, yeah, it can do that, but not with a tier 9 heavy up in your face. The match just kind of fell apart once we lost the eastern flank here. But hey, what can you do? You can't win them all. The M103 rams me. I'm getting killed. My loader buys the farm, and I finally get killed by the RHM. So, first thoughts on the Pershing. I really like the tank now that I've got the best gun on it. I really am enjoying it. I don't have the turret or the tracks yet, but it is still a very fun tank to play. You wouldn't think that 20mm of penetration on average would be a big difference between 160 and 180, but it really does. It makes the gun on the M3's 160mm penetration. It just can't pin the tanks that the Pershing has to face in its own tier. But the 180mm of penetration of the top gun on the Pershing, it can. You don't want to be brawling enemy heavy tanks from the front, especially not enemy tier 9 tanks, but it does allow you to be that much more versatile in the fact that if you aim for weak spots, you can pin the weak spots. So, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, head over to my channel, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the great content coming to my channel in the very near future. And, yeah, this is DeFGandolf signing off. Later, guys.